Good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show, sponsored by NAI MP Dodge, Omaha's premier commercial real estate company, and D&M Roofing. Grow Omaha is the area's only economic development and commercial real estate radio program. I'm Trenton Magid. My co-host, my regular partner for the last 17 and a half years, Jeff Beals, has the weekend off, and he is with the Grow Omaha Wildcats, the 16 and under baseball team that includes his son Jeff. And check it out on our Facebook page because the Grow Omaha Wildcats have had a great year, and they have their last 3 games this weekend. However, I am honored to share the next hour with you and 2 frequent Grow Omaha contributors, Brad Williams, a partner at E&A Consultants, a civil engineering firm, and owner of Brad Williams Photography. Go to bradwilliamsphotography.com. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, good morning, Trenton. Thanks for having me back.
And Jorge Sotolongo, my fellow agent at NAI NP Dodge and a member of the Omaha Planning Board. Good morning, Jorge.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming up. Everyone, this is the all-popular call-in show, so get your questions ready and give us a call at 402-558-1110. That's 402-558-1110. And after the first break, we're going to get those calls running, and there's a lot going on. So you can try to stump us, but we take easy questions as well. So we appreciate that. We appreciate all types of questions. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up, in Jeff's absence, Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash promo. Well, it's actually an app that it's a free app, and I've got it on my phone. You get at least 15% cash back. You go, you use the app, you use the credit card. It's seamless. You use the credit card at Nike, Under Armour, Adidas are the all popular ones, and then Scarlet Highway, which is a great gift store that's been around for a little while. Grunt Style, which is all-American type merchandise and clothing. And Lindt Chocolate is one of my favorites. So go to Nebraska Crossing this weekend. Use that Cash App. Get money back within 30 days on your virtual wallet. You can use it at any of the stores there. So it's a great thing. Well, D&M Roofing, who's our title sponsor of this show, is a full-service certified roofing contractor with more than 50 years of experience in all areas of roofing services, both residential and commercial. You can count on D&M for speedy, reliable service when you need it the most. No job is too big or too small. They offer affordable solutions for everyone. D&M Roofing's experts are highly skilled and have undergone rigorous, continuous training, and there's plenty of free estimates. D&MRoofing.com, and I used them on my roof a couple years ago, and every time it rains, I just think of D&M Roofing because my roof was done perfectly within 2 days. They're in and out, and everything works really well. Well, guys, before we get into the economic development news, I want to give a tribute to one of the largest stakeholders that ever was in Omaha, and that's Walter Scott. And he really needs no introduction. You can't underestimate, or you can't overestimate his contributions to our city.
Absolutely. I mean, that article in the World Herald was great. It was extensive. It was a long read, mainly because you just read every project he's been a part of, and it's just incredible. Everything you can think of in Omaha, he had a hand in it. Well,
and he also co-founded Heritage Services, and it's not an everyday name for a lot of people that aren't in the business world, but a lot of people know what Heritage Services is. And not only has he personally likely given over $500 million of his own money, but the money that he raised, Brad, was huge.
It was, and his name's on a lot of buildings around town, but I don't think we're done seeing his names on new buildings around town. There's some rumors that he'll be on a prominent building here in the future.
And mostly medical related, but I didn't realize that the entire Exarban campus has his name on it as well. And you see the dorms, you see the Walter and Suzanne Scott this, the Walter Scott that. And besides, they give him the name tribute, but he's not one of those people that brag about what he's done and the way he's connected things, and whether it's the new downtown park or the Med Center campus or Lincoln, a lot of different things. He has really changed the face and really moved it forward.
Absolutely. And I think it's, what else is notable is how he was dedicated to his family. And like you said, there were he was quiet. He was humble. He was a perfect example of how success should look, I think, for anybody.
Absolutely. And obviously he took over for Peter Kiewit at Peter Kiewit Sons, and for years ran that organization and grew it exponentially. And so we thank the Scott family. We thank the Walter and Suzanne Scott Foundation. And we look forward to many more contributions, not just financially, but leadership of those organizations that have done amazing things with his leadership. So thank you. Rest in peace, Walter Scott. It is time for the development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage. They've been in business now for 30 years. We just celebrated their 30th anniversary, and Holly and the gang over there, they are licensed mortgage brokers serving Nebraska and Iowa. Free consultations for purchases, refis, get pre-approved conventional VA and FHA loans. They're right at the corner of 114th and Davenport, just south of 114th and Dodge. You can go online at eaglemortgagecompany.com, and we always talk about getting those pre-approval letters, and that sets you ahead when you're competing to buy your next house. Well, national real estate news brought to you by CoStar. Check out CoStar.com if you want unbelievable real estate news. And they reported that for the first time since the onset of the pandemic, the amount of available office sublease space across the United States has fallen quarter over quarter. Through late September, roughly 205 million square feet of office space was being advertised as sublet availability. Those are people that want to get out of their space, and maybe they're downsizing, maybe they've closed business or what have you. That 205 million square feet is down from more than 207 million square feet at the end of the second quarter. And but while this is undeniably a positive sign for the office sector, it isn't time to celebrate just yet. The amount of sublease space on the market remains near record levels and remains far above the pre-COVID average, and also of the Great Recession peak many years ago. So we need to watch that sublease space. That's kind of a scary trend, Jorge.
Yeah, what are we going to do with all this extra space?
And I think people ask me about, how are we doing in the office market? And I tell them it's too early to tell. Some companies aren't even back in their office yet.
I know, and a lot of them can afford to sit there with empty space. That's the reality. And I know personally many that are, and they're just trying to figure out, well, when are we getting over this hump, and when are we going to get people back?
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you that the company that's near and dear to our parent company, NP Dodge, the longest-running family-owned real estate company in the U.S., is now in the Lincoln market. NP Dodge Company has acquired Lincoln First Realty, which was established in 2007 as part of Cornhusker Bank. Lincoln First Realty is a family-owned residential real estate company with more than 45 experienced realtors serving clients in Lancaster, Seward, Saunders, Otto, Gage, Jefferson, York, and Cass counties. Under the terms of the acquisition, Lincoln First Realty will continue to operate as a separate entity under its name and brand. So congratulations to Nate Dodge and our fearless leadership. There will be no shortage of activities and amenities when it comes to the new 90-acre riverfront park. It's going to open next year downtown, and you've seen all those mature trees going in and the band shell and all kind of stuff. Whether you want to relax, be entertained, or work out, the Arches Playground, the Gene Leahy Mall Slides, which has been in existence for a long time, and the Cascades Interactive Water feature will give children various places to run, climb, slide, and splash. Hammocks and fire pits line the sculpture garden, offering a refuge for relaxation, while the canopies offer prime socialization space with ping pong tables, comfortable seating, and plenty of shade. Or if you're up for exercise, you can take a run on the trails around it. So that is exciting. And then there's going to be pickleball courts and volleyball courts in the Lewis and Clark Landing, which will be just north of the Kiewit. Will sit just north of the Kiewit Illuminarium. I'm excited for the Illuminarium. And your kids are going to love it.
The best things ever. We're going to get.
Along with the the pickleball courts. The area will provide spaces for shade, public restrooms, and multiple seating structures. So that park, we're seeing it really come to fruition. And over the next year or two, that thing is going to be a game changer for downtown. Brad, you've taken some amazing pictures down there from on top of the Holland Center.
Yeah, I was up on the Holland Center a couple weeks ago. Got to the bird's eye view of the park, and it's really coming along. It's from up there you can really see how many trees and plants and the amount of boulders and rocks they put in a dry stream in. It really looks really cool.
Mature trees and mature boulders. So.
And then the path crisscrosses that stream, and so there's little bridges all over the place too that are neat.
It's so much more usable space than it was, isn't it?
Yeah, and it brought it up to street level, which I think is really great. Well, that is your economic development update by EagleMortgageCompany.com. Go to EagleMortgageCompany.com and get your financing needs. It is time for a short break. We're going to take our first break, and this is the call-in show, so make sure that you call in 402-558-1110. You're listening to Trenton Magid, Jorge Sotolongo, and Brad Williams on 1110 KFAB. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Grow Omaha, the area's only economic development and commercial real estate radio program, brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, and D&M Roofing. I'm Trenton Magid. Jeff Beals has the weekend off, but I'm joined by Brad Williams and Jorge Sotolongo. And get those calls coming in, 402-558-1110. This is the call-in show. Ask your questions, all things economic development and commercial real estate. It is time for your real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies, the prolific developer of great projects including First National Bank of Omaha Business Park, Bank of the West Business Park, Gallup Campus, Kiewit Headquarters and Kiewit University, and the Builders District downtown, just to name a few. They've been in business for decades, both here and regionally. So thank you to Noddle Development. Well, there are always new and ever-changing pop-up retailers coming to the Exarban Village area. The Book Nook, opening in late October, beginning of November, is in the old Godfather's party space. They're going to have they also have a store in downtown Papillion, so check out the Book Nook. Fontenelle Supply Company has been popping up all week at Sonny's Airstream Trailer, and ends tomorrow. So get out there. They sell menswear and handmade leather goods in their shop in Des Moines' historic East Village. The owners of Fontenelle Supply Company have Omaha roots and have been big on leatherworking, screen printing, and graphic design. Finally, a retailer known as The Workshop will have a pop-up store starting around the end of October through Christmas, offering classic sneakers, streetwear, and vintage items. Their main store is tucked away in an alley behind Jackson Street Tavern and Big Brain, across from Ika San Ramen by 11th or 12th Street. They buy, sell, and trade their wares. Get it? See how I did that with wares?
I like it. Good job.
That's spelled differently. But it'll be fun to see what retailers. I like the restaurants there. I love Exarban Cinema, and go hang out. And it'll be interesting to see through the holiday season what they do, what kind of programming and everything they do at Exarban Village.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. Christmas market maybe. That'd be cool.
And that is your real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based full-service real estate development company and can be reached at noddlecompanies.com. Well, the call-in show is open, 402-558-1110. Mom or anyone else that wants to call in and ask us economic development questions, brother, sister, anyone who wants to call in. But let's talk. We talked about before the break that there's some big things going on. The planning board, Jorge, you guys meet on Wednesday, first Wednesday of every month. And in addition, we've talked in the past weeks about development going out on Blair High Road, Highway 133 around State Street. And there's a big data center. We're guessing it's Google. We don't know who it is, but officially. But we're talking about, I think it's about 2.4 million square feet and
260 acres site in total. Yep.
So that's huge. But it's there's other development that was kind of kicking off even before that's kind of complementary and adjacent, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's been industrial activity going on there for a while now where people have been buying land and trying to get some industrial development going. And it just so happens just to the north, we had McGill Restoration, I believe, going under McGill Development LLC out there doing a 112-acre industrial development. I think it's going to be split into 7 lots eventually, 2 outlots. Sounds like these guys kind of got lucky and they started doing their work, and then all of a sudden here comes this big data center project. I think it's going to be a nice whirlwind of activity out there that should spur some more development in the future.
Well, you don't think, when you think of industrial development, we think about Sarpy County and we talk about the Sarpy County data center and all that kind of stuff and all the other projects down there, but we don't think about the Northwest area.
No, we don't.
And there's plenty of land, and it's connected to 680 and
Absolutely.
Blair High Road and the highway system, and
there's people living out there. There's communities, there's schools, and there's access to Blair and Fremont, all these other municipalities. I think it's ripe for this type of activity.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the access to Blair and also just I forget the highway that runs straight west to Bennington. You can get to from the Bennington area over there in just a matter of minutes.
Absolutely,
so
that's your workforce.
They're going to pull people from all over for this.
I hope so.
And I think and there's I want to say it's Trans Systems. I think it's a different name, but they do material handling for agricultural and stuff like that. They've got a big presence up there, and should they ever leave, there's about 250,000 square feet of industrial that will come online.
Something else interesting up that way is the Blair Airport's just right up the road, and
that's right.
That used to be a lot of small personal airplanes and stuff, and you're starting to see a lot more corporate-sized jets come in there. It's a beautiful airport, so I'm wondering if some of these industrial developments weren't spurred by the big out-of-town companies being able to land almost right at their doorstep and come down the hill, and they'll be at their facility.
They'll give Millard Airport a run for their money.
Yeah,
one way from Seattle to
Blair.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Well, let's switch to, again, 402-558-1110. This has never happened to us before for our call-in show.
What always does happen is everyone waits till the end of the show, and then we're rushing through the questions. So be the first one, break the ice, and call in and ask questions.
And Brad's always keeping up with Facebook questions, too, and I know they've had a few, and he always answers them, and search through that, too.
I'll tell you what, for the first caller on your next real estate purchase over $100,000, we'll give you $100 off at closing. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what is. We must have so much information on the show that we just answer everybody's questions. But
we keep our audience well informed.
Absolutely. Sounds like we got a live one. Lori's calling in. Hey, Lori.
Just a second, I got to hit the button.
Hi. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning.
Congratulations. You are the proud recipient. We'll have to give you a code or something. You get $100 off your next commercial real estate purchase over $100,000 at closing.
Wow.
Was that the incentive that got you to call in and be the first?
No.
Okay. What's going on, Lori?
I am interested in the 90th and Fort area, specifically the northeast corner, the former Pizza Hut property.
Okay. So I know that they're rebuilding next to that. They're building the new Runza. I sold them that car wash next door, and they're building a new Runza, and I'm guessing they're going to tear down the old Runza. There's a Starbucks. Isn't the Starbucks going across the street on the northwest corner?
Yeah, the shell's up for that.
The shell's up for that, yeah. So I know who the owner is. It's an out-of-town owner. I know that that Pizza Hut is out of there. To my knowledge, there's no project set for that yet. Do you guys know?
The Runza did look at that lot also, and they decided that the car wash was a better deal for them.
And they already own the car wash, so we'll definitely report if something. Do you live up there, Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the call, but to our knowledge, we don't know of any project that has been announced or underway on that. But I know who's working with the landlord, so I will see if I can find out more information. So we appreciate you listening.
I'll put a plug in for First Watch. It'd be a great corner for First Watch.
We know the owner of that as well, so Greg Cutshall. We'll ask him to go up there as well. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
All right.
Okay. And Mike, you're listening to Grow Omaha Show on 1110 KFAB. Good morning. Mike?
Hello?
Hi, good morning. What can we do for you?
Hey, Jorge had said the last time he was on air that there was talk of the Crossroads garage going vertical. Has he heard any more info on that?
I have not. I'm not sure if we will for a while, but it was just a passing comment that they thought the infrastructure was strong enough and that the structure was good enough to go up in the future if they ever needed to. So that's about all I've heard. I might check in on it again, though, just to see, because
we'll talk to our friends at Lockwood Development. They're doing great things over there, and I could see whether it's on that or not, but I could see condos. They've talked about hotels going there, Mike. They've that structure has a lot of value to it, and I know they were going to put LED lights and update that structure, but that was one of the amenities that they didn't have to build a $25 million plus parking garage there. So we will report on that. They're making huge progress just in the last year or so, and they've brought in dirt, and they're going to have underground parking on some of it.
We'll put a good name in for you for a condo. How about that?
Yeah. Mike,
There you go.
We appreciate you listening.
All righty. Thanks
so much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
And the next caller is Jim. They're flooding in. Lori set something off that's just spectacular. So 402-558-1110. Jim, you're on the air.
Okay, I'd like to know if construction has begun on the Horseman's Park Casino yet.
Not that I'm aware of. It sounds like there's still some planning that's going on. They acquired a little piece of land from Hawkins next door, and that's already done to expand parking. But as far as I know, there's no shovels in the dirt yet. Brad, do you know anything else?
I drove by a week ago, and there wasn't any construction equipment on site.
Do they get some off-site space for planning or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of. I think they've probably communicated with the owners across the street and everything like that. But aside from like the Hawkins deal and some others, I think it's more coordination than acquisition.
I think they're doing it.
Yeah.
Jim, I think they're doing it as a favor to me, so I don't spend my money out there. And it's too far to go to Council Bluffs, so
Well,
if they
being
can just
as-
hold off till after the Christmas season, that'd be great. But
Well, being as how it's Omaha's first casino, I thought it'd be kind of interesting.
yeah,
to see
it
what
will
was
be.
going
We'll
on
watch.
with
We'll
it.
watch it for you.
It's moving though.
Very good.
Well, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, it's time to take a short break. You're listening to Grow Omaha Show on 1110 KFAB. You'll be right back with Trenton, Brad, and Jorge. Welcome back to the Grow Omaha Show, the area's only economic development and commercial real estate radio program, brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, Commercial Real Estate, and D&M Roofing. I'm Trenton Maggot. Jeff Beals has the weekend off, but you're listening to Trenton, Brad Williams of ENA Consulting and Brad Williams Photography, and Jorge Sotolongo, my colleague at NAI, NP Dodge, and a member of the planning board. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had calls, believe it or not, real calls, into the studio, and some people didn't want to hang on. So there's a few things going on. There's one that we talked about last week, which is RMR Construction down on Mission Avenue in Old Town Bellevue. The answer to that is they're building 200 apartment units and about 18,000 square foot of retail. There'll be two sides to it, so there'll be 9,000 square foot of retail on each side. That's about a $40 million project. So that's been a long time coming. That's the old city offices, isn't it?
Yeah, when did they demolish that building? A couple of years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been in the works, this project, for a while.
So it's obviously a neighborhood type project, but there's activity going down in Bellevue. Again, 402-558-1110. If anybody wants to get in some last calls, it is we'll be closing in about 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So get your calls in, and we'll go from there. Another caller that talked about in the last segment talked about the casino the Horseman's Park Casino on Q Street, and has any construction started? And Roger brought up a good point where they have not issued any casino licenses. The state of Nebraska, I don't know if it's the Tom Osborne effect or what, but the people have voted, and they said that they want to have casinos in Nebraska. So it'll be interesting to see when those licenses get
It's
issued.
a long process. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't have a gaming commission, right, in the state. You had to create one. We had to do all these. We have to have a commissioner. We have to have all these things. So I think it's just a long, political process that's going to continue while they get the site prepared as well. I mean, it's kind of a gamble, if you will, I guess, maybe on their end. But
absolutely. And another topic that came up was over by ENA Consulting's office. Brad, you look out over at the former, I like to call it the Pace Membership Warehouse building, but it's
I still call it Pace also.
absolutely. I actually
20 years ago.
in my garage, I actually have a dustpan on the back of it has a Pace sticker on it with a SKU number on it.
Wow.
So what was Pace then? What was
It was
that
just
company?
like Costco and
It
Sam's.
was before Costco.
Because I see the name, but I don't know. It was before.
And that building was converted from a membership warehouse, and they double-decked it and turned it into office space. They've been trying to sell it for a long time, but
First Data did that.
Now, Jorge, you're reporting that it's in the planning board that they're looking to expand it.
Yeah, it looks like Fiserv's, they've got their name all over these renderings, so it sounds like they're sticking around. They're gonna add to the building. It sounds like they're gonna, kind of pop a top here, like a hat onto it on the north side. There's gonna be some warehouse. There's gonna be some storage for printing supplies and paper supplies. They're gonna do R&D in the building. They're gonna put a small office footprint there, and then they're gonna have a call center as well. So all in all, about 170 associates that are gonna be working in that facility here in the near future.
It's a huge property, and a lot of it is just not used. So
Yep, it's like a redevelopment. 11 acres, right? I think is what it is.
That's pretty impressive. The other thing that we learned was from the planning board is that the Sheridan Hotel, which we had been talking about that going into apartments up on top of the hill in Old Mill, because the hotel market has resurged, and if you try to book a trip anywhere on airlines or hotels, the prices are up there. And so now you're saying that it's going to stay a hotel?
Yeah, so we already voted to rezone it to R8, so it could be a apartment or senior living. Well, it turns out they actually never did anything toward that end because
They took the
market
sign
started
down,
coming
that's
back.
it.
They took the sign down
During
exactly.
COVID, yeah.
I think hopefully they stored that sign in the back and they can just bring it back in the
Do you think
front.
it'll be a Sheridan again?
I don't know, but it sounds like, now it's back on the agenda for another rezoning back to CC, back to hotel. That's an interesting.
You heard it here on the Gromha Show, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's get some of these calls going. We've got 4 people in the queue, and Debbie, welcome to the Gromha Show.
Yeah, I was wondering if there are any plans for anybody to move into the old Fresh Time store at 150th and Maple.
That's a good question.
150th and maybe.
Yeah, that's that Greyhawk West.
next to Gordman's.
Yeah.
Gordman's is gone too.
Trenton, you know more than I do right there.
I don't know if they're still paying rent. I know that the Gordman's, I believe, is going to have an exercise facility. I don't know if they're building. They should be building it out by now, but it's a national gym that was taking part of that, and I showed the rest of it. But the Fresh Time, just like the one out at Tivoli on
180th.
Yeah, about 177th and West Center Road is vacant as well. Do you guys know of anybody going into those?
No, I remember that one was for sale for a long time.
Yeah,
it's an interesting layout. How
it's
that
tough
is
that round lot. Well, we appreciate the call, but we'll keep our eye on that. And then Rick, you're calling regarding the southwest corner of 156th and State.
Yes, about a month and a half ago, Grow Omaha mentioned about 2 buildings going to be built there, a 5,000 square foot and 10,000 square foot. And I'm just curious, any update on anything about it? Nothing's been happening so far.
I haven't seen anything on that. I don't know if Jorge that would go to the
is
planning
that the
board or not.
retail development that's going there? Or is it a retail strip kind of situation?
That's what I thought. Whatever we said last time, it was probably Jeff, and since he's not here, we'll whatever he said is good.
We can look into it more for you.
You don't see any
That'd be great.
activity. You don't see any activity up there yet, do you, Rick?
Nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
All right. We appreciate the call. Thanks for listening. And Linda, you're talking about the status of the Ozark Barbecue at 114th and Center. And welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. That sign has been up for at least a year, and nothing has happened.
Right, and there was also wasn't there Abelardo's or something had a sign on that as well?
That's the same building. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
So my understanding is the owner of the Russell Speeders to the east, and I looked it up, it was like $5 million, something that the oil change place on the corner and that, and maybe another piece of property was purchased by the owner of that Russell Speeders. If you haven't noticed, there is a onslaught of car washes, and all these national car washes and local car washes seem to be staking their claims and protecting their investments. And so I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I believe it's owned by the same group that owns that Russell Speeders there. I'm a big fan of Tommy's Express, of course, but there's some other people coming to the market. But that's what we know about that.
Jorge, you were going to talk to the Alvarado's folks about that. Did you ever
Thanks,
get a hold
Linda.
of them?
For which site? The one there on Center?
On 114th? Yeah.
I never talked to him about it, no.
Never.
I also forgot about it.
Oh.
Okay. So
I will talk to him about it.
Okay, and then Bill has a question about downtown.
Yeah. Can you gentlemen hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say I wasn't a fan of the change of Gene Leahy Mall, but boy, it's sure coming around and looking great. So they've turned me around, I guess, on that project. But my question is regarding the westernmost part of the mall. You know, they're using it for parking, and, you know, they replaced the 13th Street Bridge with the road. Is that 13th and 14th block there, is that going to be finished as part of the mall, or are they shortening the mall one block and using that for potential commercial purposes?
Bill, that's a great question. And by the way, this is the last call because we've got to take a break after this. But I'll tell you what, Bill, the all indications are that will be developed commercially. The rumors that I've heard, it could be a 5 or 6 story building, maybe parking underneath, and then it would be attached to parking to the west of that. All indications seem like that the W.D.L. Clark Library will be torn down. Could be a 15 or 16 story building. And so those two blocks are going to be redeveloped. You've got that really neat Farnham Hotel there. And then these two projects will really give Pickleman's downtown a lot more business. So we're really we're excited about that downtown project. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all your great calls. And I'm just glad my mom didn't have to make up a question and call in. So we appreciate that.
I do have a quick follow-up. It sounds like 150th and Maple is going to have Planet Fitness.
Okay.
Just so you know, I got it confirmed by your good friend Robbie over at RMR Construction.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much. And it's time for a short break. When we come back, you're going to have the lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. You're listening to 1110 KFAB, The Grow Omaha Show. To The Grow Omaha Show, the Area's only economic development and commercial real estate radio program, brought to you by NAI, MP Dodge, and D&M Roofing. I'm Trenton Magid of NAI, MP Dodge. Jeff Beals has the weekend off. He'll be joining me next week. And we're here with Brad Williams and Jorge Sotolongo. And it is time for the lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. And Turner Construction is the firm that you know as the construction company of the Sarpy County Data Center. They do huge projects, but Turner Construction does a ton of stuff for workforce development. They're always hiring people in the Omaha area. They've got 150 full-time employees. About 40 of those are from the Omaha area, and but most of their projects are under $5 million. So if you've got tenant build-outs or you have a new building going up, they're masters of manufacturing facilities, medical facilities, office buildings, what have you. So check out Turner Construction, and they do great work. And so we've got a lot of stuff on the docket, guys. The Cumbia Diner is planning to open this fall in the former Himalayan Java space at 329 South 16th Street downtown, next to the Mercury Bar and Lounge. Hard to believe that didn't work out. Mercury
worked out.
Worked out great.
Mercury's great. I'm talking about the Himalayan,
Himalayan
Java space. But no, I'm just having fun. But the Cumbia will specialize something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's the South American street foods, such as ceviche and empanadas. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, Jorge is definitely excited about that.
Our camera operator is excited too.
Yeah, Amy loves that stuff. Ribbon cutting will take place on October 27th of the Cafe Diem 96 at 9839 South 96th Street in Papillion, October 27th. And that's a breakfast and lunch restaurant located on the ground level of the Lux 96 apartments by Bellino Development. They do great work. The Hy-Vee has opened a standalone fresh and fast express gas station convenience store at the main entrance to the Coventry development at 204th and George B. Lake Parkway. That is the over by the ACX 12 Plus, my favorite movie theater. And I've heard McDonald's. I've heard some other things that are looking hard at that area as well. And it'll take a while to develop, but
it's taken a long time already.
Yeah.
To develop.
How long ago do you think that ACI moved out there? Was that 15 years ago?
Yes, they were working on Coventry when I started at ENA 16 years ago.
Wow. That's a long time coming. The Cost Cutters plans to move from 72nd and Pacific area to 8012 Dodge. They bought that building, that two-story building from Todd Schneiderwind at NAI MP Dodge. Little sad news, the Ultimate Party Superstore, our friends at Nobby's, will close by the end of the year. The retailer has been in business for more than 33 years in the Bel Air Plaza Shopping Center at 120th and West Center Road. Owners Gordon and Joy Watanabe plan to retire. And Nobby's going out of business sale is being called a retirement party and will last through October. So everybody knows that.
That was probably the most surprising business news of the week, to me at least.
Absolutely. Well, we covered a lot of territory on the show today. And Jorge Sotolongo, appreciate you being on.
Thank you so much, fellas.
Brad Williams, you're always great, and thank you for all your posts and all the social media work you do and all the photography that you share with everybody.
You're welcome. I love doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Go Huskers tonight. And you're listening to Trenton Magid, and Jeff Beals will be here next week on 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.